Hi guys, welcome back for another video. I'm Jess and today I'm going to be sharing with you a bit of inspiration surrounding our July craft box. So this one is our Tropical Craft Box. You may have seen that it is currently available. It's been available for a couple of days now, and I'm going to be sharing with you a make using all the different products that come in that fantastic box. I'll do a quick rundown of what you get in case you haven't heard of it, you haven't seen it. So the main die that you get in the box is, I believe this one is the Detailed Tropics, yeah that's the one. So this is the die that the box kind of surrounds, so that's why it's kind of that tropical themed box. You also get your square framelits, which are super handy to have in your collection. It's great to have these framelits and keep building them up because you'll always keep going back to those and using those. The cardstock selection that you get is a lovely set of colours. So all of these colours here, so you get the Arctic Sky, the Bluebell, Mermaid Kiss, Agave, Lush Leaves, Green Tea, that yellow is our Banana Blast, and then you get Primrose and Cherry Blossom. So there are your colours, and then you also get 5 of just plain white cardstock, which are fantastic for using as card bases or scrapbook bases, and I'm going to use that as my base today, so it's great to have some white cardstock in your set as well. And then a couple of other additions. You do get some of our maker's tape, which is great for taping down dies when you're cutting if you want them in a specific place, so really handy to have that. And then you also get some of our embossing powders along with some of our clear embossing ink, so you need this to use our embossing powders. And you also get the Lush Leaves and I want to say Earl Grey, yeah. So you get those 2 embossing powders in there, so you get that lovely bright green and then that really lovely smoky grey colour to use alongside of those stamps that come along in that Detailed Tropics die set. Okay, so that's everything that you get in our Tropical Craft Box. If you do like those products, they're on a fantastic deal in that box, so go and check them out on the website. And yeah, I'll move on to the make now. So I'm going to be sharing with you this scrapbook page. What's kind of like, it could be used as a scrapbook page or even a home decor piece if you put it in a frame, or you could even pop it on a pin board, anything like that. Really versatile design, and I'm going for that tropical summer theme because I think we're all missing our holidays at the moment. And even if you're not planning a holiday, you're not too sure whether you're going to be travelling anytime soon, it's nice to reminisce about those fun times. So that's what I wanted to create with this make. Right, so like I said before, the white cardstock in the set is fantastic as a base. So I've actually cut mine down to do 21 centimetres by 21, so it's a perfect square. So I've cut that down ready for my base. And then the 2 main elements I'm going to have as the background are this square. So I'll check that I've got this right size. So they're all sort of perfectly aligned with each other, and you can just decide what size you want. So I'm going to cut that out from the Mermaid Kiss colour, and then I'm going to have my image as well. So whatever image you want, obviously, because it is that lovely tropical themed, summer photos are going to be fantastic to use. There we go. So I've got my base of, can't get it out, there we go, of my square, and then I'm going to pick my image. So I've used that one on my last one, could use a different one, I think I'll just use the same one. So I've got those 2 there, and then I'm going to start to build up everything else around it. So I've got all the different pieces cut out from like green, green tea, Lush Leaves, those are my main foliage colours, and then I've actually used the embossing powder on this back bit here. So I'm going to do that bit next. So I'm going to cut out a couple of the elements from green tea. So this is the part that I want to stamp on. It actually fits perfectly with the stamp that comes along with it, so you get that framelit perfectly cut to that stamp. And then I'm going to cut out some of my other elements as well. And this machine I'm using today is the Express machine, so it's super handy, super easy to use if you don't fancy a manual machine. I use this on my lazy days. Okay, so we've got those cut out now. I'll do the embossing first, and then we'll start to build up the florals and the foliage. So that is the framelit cut out. I'm going to now stamp onto that using the stamp that comes in the set. So this is a stamp that is going to fit perfectly to that die that I just cut out, and I've actually popped it onto a stamping block. You can do it without, it just makes it a little bit easier if you've got a stamping block to hand. And then I'm going to take the clear embossing ink, and I'm going to stamp that really firmly into that embossing ink. You're not going to be able to see it because obviously it is clear, so just make sure it's really covered. And you kind of can see it once in person. It's like a sort of sticky residue. And then, okay, so now I'm going to line that up. Takes a bit of time to perfectly line it up. You may have to do it a couple of times just to make sure. And then just sort of give your stamp block or your stamp a bit of a wiggle from side to side. Try not to move it too much, but just making sure all of the detail of the stamp gets popped onto the card. Okay, right, I think that's okay. So now we've got that, I'm going to pop it into my funnel tray and add the embossing ink while it's still kind of sticky. So I'm using the Lushly's embossing powder over the top, just covering it completely, and then I'm just going to pick it up with a pair of tweezers. Gently shake it off, not too much, because you don't want to disturb the powder too much just yet. And pop that there, and then I'm going to keep it in my tweezers and apply some heat with a heat gun. So just gently move the gun around, and you'll slowly see the powder start to sort of change colour and melt. It kind of melts and moulds together to create this sort of shiny effect. And that's pretty much done. It only takes a couple of seconds, but it creates a really nice shiny effect. Hopefully you can see that catching the light. It's a bit dark today, so there we go. Okay, and then pull away my tweezers. When you are using a heat gun, guys, just make sure you've got something heat resistant, like one of our mats or something underneath, because it can ruin your surface underneath. I actually was really lazy and did it on a cutting mat the other day, and where I'd got scores in the cutting mat, it started to peel away, so you don't want to be doing it on something that's not made for it. Okay, so I've pretty much got all my elements. If I need any more, I can just cut them out. I'm going to start to build this up. So I'm going to make sure my glue is ready to go. So using my express glue, I'm going to stick this down first, and I want this flat, roughly about there. And then this image I actually want raised, so I'm going to use some of our foam tape. This doesn't come in the box, but maybe you have something similar that you can use, and it is available on our website as well. And I'm actually going to stick this embossing powder section onto the back of it, kind of at an angle, so I'm going to stick that down before I even put the foam tape on. So just, I know it's going to go in that corner, I'm going to pop it there, and then I want that showing kind of like that. There we go. Okay, so that's my leaf section in the corner, and now I can add my foam tape. The glue dries really quickly. If you have got our express glue, you'll know that it sets within pretty much seconds, if not a minute or a couple of minutes, so don't worry about it moving about too much. So there we go, I've got a couple of pieces of foam tape down. Peel those off. Can use your tweezers if you're struggling here. And then I'm going to position that roughly about there, I think. Okay. And now I can start to add those lovely foliage pieces that we cut out earlier. Okay, so all of these pieces I'm actually going to just take in my fingers and bend ever so slightly, so just to give them a bit of a 3D effect, not much, just a little. Again with these lovely tropical leaves as well. Not sure what these are called. Are they banana leaves? I can never tell which one's which. And then I've got a couple of these pieces here. Okay, so I'm going to start to build these up just with some glue. And you can sort of play around with how you're arranging this foliage around your image. It definitely does depend on what image you've chosen as your main element. You could want it all the way around or just on one corner, whatever you decide. Looks best really. And you can play around with layering these before you even glue them. That's absolutely fine. I can just get away with gluing these down because I've actually got one that I'm going off of already. So it makes it a bit easier. Okay. There we go. I can now start adding these lovely little flowers, which also comes in the set. There we go. Just realised I don't know if the colour Mango Tango showed up when I was showing you before. It is in the set. That's the lovely orange shade that is these lovely flowers. So I'll just layer these up. And because you get so many lovely colours, you could do it like completely tonal if you wanted to. So like you could do just all of the pinks or all of the greens. It's completely up to you, and it gives you loads of freedom just having this one set, this one craft box. Okay, there we go. So I've got my flowers. I think the last thing I'm going to do is quickly add my sentiments. So I'm actually going to cut that out from the Banana Blast cardstock. So I've got the Hello sentiment. I'll cut that out. You could even like cut this out as like an aperture, like a negative from another piece of cardstock. So you could just use that if you wanted to, kind of like over the top or whatever. That would be really cool. But you can just use the die cut as it is. You've got your die pick or a pair of tweezers just to pull that out. See how beautifully it cuts out, and then I'm just going to stick that there. I won't go and do all the extra little elements because that is just me just sticking, but you can have loads of fun with this. I'm just going to carefully glue just little dots. If you've had some of our other craft boxes, some of them actually had some of our adhesive sheets in, and if you've got some left, that's super handy to use with these like more delicate sentiments. So if you have got those, definitely utilise them with your new products, because you can always mix and match stuff. There we go. Don't worry too much if you have got some glue on the background, it will dry. Okay, so there you go. So you could even go in and say you wanted to add some details to the centre of the flowers, if you had some sequins or something in your collection, that would be really nice. And like I said, if you've purchased some of our other craft boxes, so you've got your hands on some of maybe the opulent cardstock or something like that, you could jazz it up. So don't feel like you just have to use what's in your box. Definitely use other things in your stash. But if you are just focusing on just what's in the July Tropical Craft Box, then you've got loads of options and you can really have some fun there, especially with those lovely embossing powders, and create that lovely glitter effect. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you liked any of the products, if you are interested in that fantastic saving with that Tropical Craft Box, make sure to head on over to the website and check out all of the other inspiration that myself and all the other designers will be putting out surrounding this box. If you get your hands on it and you're struggling for some ideas, we've got you covered, don't worry. So make sure you stay safe, guys, keep crafting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.